presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
It's a throwback Thursday at Chase Field, and the Diamondbacks are set to throw the Dodgers back right out of here with a 3-game sweep. D-backs rolling right now, winners of 6 straight and 8 of 9. And today they have Zack Greinke on the mound as they try to close out this sweep and a perfect 6-0 homestand. So join us for D-backs baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. The purple is in place on this throwback Thursday as the Diamondbacks look to become the first team in the majors this year to sweep the Dodgers. And Bob, with the way they've played against LA this year, why not?
Well, LA's having a historic season. I mean, that first half they had was unbelievable, but the Diamondbacks we have talked about all season, have played them tough. A win today would even the season record at 8-8. They played them tough here at Chase Field. The 5-3 record, they've actually outscored the Dodgers. The one-run games is where you see the big difference right there. Hopefully this one will be a one-run game in favor of the D-backs.
They've already been the first team in baseball to hand the Dodgers 4 consecutive losses. Now they can become the first team to sweep them this year. They have Zack Greinke on the mound. He has been lights out here at Chase Field this year.
12 wins here at Chase Field this season. That's the most in the major leagues for any pitcher pitching in his home ballpark. In 99 innings of work, he struck out 116 opposing batters, walked only 19.
He's up against LA's Kenta Maeda, so here we go. It's Throwback Thursday. A getaway day matinee for you. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up today at any Gila River hotels and casinos location. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing, choose Chaz. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Chase, master what's now and what's next. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. By Phoenix Raceway. See Dale Jr.'s final West Coast race during the Can-Am 500 NASCAR semifinal at Phoenix Raceway November 10th through the 12th. Tickets at phoenixraceway.com. And by State Farm. Here to make life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. Well, it's right there for the taking. Diamondbacks a chance to match a season high with 7 straight wins. Zack Greinke on the mound. Next on Fox Sports Arizona. On the mound, and the brooms are set to go. It's the D-backs and those LA Dodgers. Steve Perfume, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson with you. D-backs can become the first team in baseball this year to sweep LA. Dodgers have already lost 4 in a row for the first time since May of last season. And here's their lineup this afternoon. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Chris Taylor will lead it off and play shortstop this afternoon. Curtis Granderson will be out in center field. Justin Turner at third base. Cody Bellinger in left field this afternoon. Yasmani Grandal back behind the plate. YASIEL Puig will be out in right field. Veteran Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Logan Forsythe at second, and Kenta Maeda, the right-hander, on the mound.
It's the ace on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Your Ram truck starting pitcher is the right-hander Zack Greinke. 15 wins, tied for the major league lead, and a 3.14 ERA. That's 5th best in the National League.
Coming off a win against the Giants, went 6 2/3 in that ball game. Gave up 2 earned runs on 7 hits. Struck out 4, did not walk a batter. And I don't know what else to say about Zack Greinke. Every time he goes out there, you expect to see something amazing, and he rarely disappoints.
Well, let's see what you've got to say about the defense. That's presented by Nationwide Vision Center.
Gregor Blanco getting a start in left field this afternoon. A.J. Pollock will be in center with J.D. Martinez over in right field. Jake Lamb and Ketel Marte on the left side of the infield. Daniel Descalso and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Chris Iannetta behind the dish today for right-hander Zack Greinke.
The crew chief has the balls and strikes today. Jeff Nelson behind the plate. Ryan Addington at first base. Corey Blazer at second. And the third base umpire is Doug Eddings. And, baby, we have just enough time to sneak in your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Sweep. Or should I say sweep?
I like it. Well, why not? The Dodgers have lost 4 straight. The Diamondbacks have won 6 in a row and 8 of their last 9. So here we go. On a Thursday afternoon in downtown Phoenix, and there's strike one to Chris Taylor. We're underway.
The last 3-game sweep of the Dodgers here at Chase Field. It's been a while. April of 2008.
Wow, that long.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to fix that.
Yep.
305, 18 homers for Taylor. He hit a home run here Tuesday night. A lot of flexibility for Dave Roberts between Kike Hernandez, who can play anywhere, and Taylor, who can play center field one game, shortstop the next, play in some other spots. He's got some pieces he can move around.
And he plugs in well to that leadoff spot. He gets on base a lot. He's a good base runner, a good base stealer.
Started last night in center field. Now here he is, the shortstop, about 12 hours later. 2-1 on Taylor. Fastball missed. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Zack Greinke has lost both his starts against the Dodgers this year. Curtis Granderson on deck. 0-2 with a 6.17 ERA versus LA this season. That one got Chris Iannetta. Either the ball or the backswing. It's 3-2.
Yeah, he's been a magnet for Horsehide and Wood this summer. Getting hit with backswings and foul tips. That one right off the top of the mask.
Replacing Jeff Mathis, who's out, we think, for the rest of the regular season as Greinke's valet catcher. These two worked very well together when we saw them last week. Checked his swing, but it caught part of the bat. Foul ball, and we'll keep going here. Zach coming off a win over the Giants with Chris Iannetta behind the plate. That was on Friday of last week. And Greinke pitched very well. 3 runs, only 2 were earned. Went 6 2/3. 12-1 at home this year with a 2.36 ERA. Went to that slider, and Taylor fights another one off. Last time against the Giants on Friday, we saw Zach with a lot of those big, slow curveballs early the first time through the order. And it's generally something different with Zack Greinke. Every start, one pitch is highlighted, another is maybe put aside for a start or two.
It's kind of been an interesting series if you look at the way the Diamondbacks pitchers have attacked the Dodgers. Zach Godley, the first start in the series, a lot of fastballs, especially first time through the order. Then he started to mix in his knuckle curve.
Popped him up. Descalso behind second. I think we saw from last night Robbie Ray a lot of curveballs.
A lot of breaking balls early in the game, and then mixed in his fastball appropriately. And with Zack Greinke, you never know. He goes out there in that first inning kind of experimenting to see what's working, what he feels good with on a given day, and then he'll go to that particular pitch. But the great thing about Zach, because of the way he changes speeds, as a hitter you feel like he's throwing 12 different pitches. Ball's moving all over the place, different speeds, different locations. It really gives the hitter problems.
Curtis Granderson. Granderson has struck out 5 times in this series. His only hit was his home run last night. Here's that slow curveball, and he dropped it in there. It's 0-2. Comes with a fastball and dots it. Jeff Nelson rings him up, and Granderson doesn't agree.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
It's a long walk back to that dugout when you've been rung up on a pitch about 6 or 8 inches off the inside corner of the plate against one of the best pitchers in the game. It's tough enough to try to battle Zack Greinke. If he's getting pitches like that, it's going to be a good day.
That was not a borderline pitch. No. Here's Justin Turner, second in the National League and hitting at .327. Way way up in the air. Deep left field. Blanco's got room. A 1-2-3 start for Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks coming up against Kenta Maeda. Diamondbacks up against your Ram truck starter for the Dodgers. It's the right-hander Kenta Maeda. 12-5, a 3.76 ERA. He has won 6 of his last 8 starts.
Usually does not pitch very deeply into the ball game. He's only gone over 100 pitches twice this year. Try to get to him early if you can. A lot of breaking pitches, a lot of off-speed deliveries from Kenta Maeda. Throw a couple, 3 different fastballs, moving it in both directions and occasionally elevating a four-seam.
Valley Chevy Dealers has the Diamondbacks lineup today.
Gregor Blanco in the leadoff spot out in left field. Chris IANNETTA in that 2-hole once again. Jake Lamb at third base. Paul Goldschmidt at first. J.D. Martinez will be out in right field. A.J. Pollock in center. The bottom third of Descalso at second. Marte at short. And right-hander Zach Greinke on the mound.
Here is Gregor Blanco. Day off for David Peralta, so it's Blanco playing left and batting leadoff. And there's ball 1. He singled and walked in Sunday's win over the Giants, 236 on the year. Kenta Maeda win over the Brewers in his previous start. That was last Friday in LA. And he was very good. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. He had 7 strikeouts. Blanco blasts it out to Puig in right, and he's got a base hit to start us off. That one almost bounced over his head, and Blanco takes advantage of Puig.
Too cool.
Yeah, Puig a little lackadaisical there. Gregor saw the opening, and he breaks for second. A hustle double. He checked out for just a minute there.
Had one of his moments out there in right field. Was going to try to make a shoestring catch, but then ends up playing it on a hop, and Gregor Blanco said, hey, if you're not going to play baseball, I'll take advantage of it. Moves into scoring position, and the mental lapse by Yasiel Puig. Yep, I know exactly how you feel.
Chris IANNETTA continues to get chances batting second in the order for Torey Lovullo, and he's really responded. 237 and 12 homers for Chris. He singled in his start behind the plate Tuesday night. Chris has hit safely in 6 straight games. He's reached base safely in 10 straight. Very productive hitter as of late. Fastball's a strike, and it's 1-1.
First inning against the Dodgers in this series, the Diamondbacks have done a lot of damage on Tuesday night. They scored 5 runs on 6 hits in the first. Last night, 3 runs on 2 hits and a walk in the first inning.
Chris IANNETTA. Very good command of the strike zone up there. Now, you mentioned those early runs, Bob. The D-backs are 27-15 this year when they score in the first inning. Fastball missed away, and it's 3-1. Jake Lamb on deck. And Jake has got some seriously good numbers against Maeda.
Oh, yes, he does.
That's a good matchup. Still seems like there are times when Maeda does not want to challenge a big league hitter with his fastball. He's been nibbling here against IANNETTA. Last year, when he really needed to throw a fastball or had to have a strike, he'd favor that slider. Maybe scared off a bit by the bat speed of big league hitters, and he doesn't look like he wants to throw Chris anything to hit right here. He didn't go. Ryan Addison, good at bat there by CI. It's a double and a walk to start us off. Here's the Dodgers defense. That's brought to us by Nationwide Vision Center.
Cody Bellinger moving out to left field this afternoon with Curtis Granderson in center. YASIEL PUIG standing out in right. Justin Turner at third base. Chris Taylor at short. Logan Forsythe at second base. Adrian Gonzalez over at first. Yasmani GRANDAL behind the plate for the right-hander Kenta Maeda.
RBI chance for Jake Lamb. He's got 96 this year. 258 and 27 home runs. Blanco at second. IANNETTA at first. Taylor, the shortstop, almost right behind the bag at second. And again, he misses with a fastball. Jake Lamb, 9 hits career against Maeda, including 2 home runs.
Waited on that big, slow curveball, and Maeda tried to cross it up and throw him a fastball. He took that deep also. Sometimes there's just no way to explain it. You just see the ball so well out of a pitcher's hand, or you're thinking along with the pitcher and catcher, guessing certain pitches in certain situations. But for whatever reason, Jake Lamb has done some serious damage against Maeda.
The Lambs are set to go. Well, the Diamondbacks have struck quickly in this series. A.J. Pollock had that home run in the first inning Tuesday night. 2 first-inning homers last night. Adam Rosales and Paul Goldschmidt. Maeda so far 10 pitches, only 3 strikes. This is bounced to second. Forsythe for 1, and that's it. They get the force on IANNETTA. Blanco in at third. Here comes Goldie.
First baseman, number 44.
Goldie is rolling right now. 318, 33 homers. 3rd in the league with those 107 RBIs. 4th in the majors at OPS. This was Goldie last night. He has homered in 3 straight games and 4 of his last 5.
And he's been very aggressive early in games lately. See if he attacks Maeda early in the sequence right here.
Runners on the corners and 1 out. Yasmani GRANDAL's got his cheat sheet back there. He stayed aggressive, Bob.
Yeah, got a fastball up and out over the plate right there. I think it could possibly be part of Paul Goldschmidt's plan of attack against opposing pitchers, because we've seen stretches of the season where he almost refused to swing at a first pitch. Would see 8 or 9 pitches in an at bat. Then he'll go through stretches where he's attacking that first fastball close to the strike zone.
Blanco is the runner at third. Jake Lamb at first, 1 out. 0-1 to Goldie. Fair ball down the left field line. It's another first inning run as Blanco comes home. They're going to wave Lamb all the way from first, and he is in there. Paul Goldschmidt, a 2-run double, and it's 2-0 D-backs.
Looked like a changeup was fluttering up there on the inside corner, and Goldie put it right down that third base line. Blanco's going to score easily. Jake Lamb off from first base. Watching the play down in that left field corner, then he picks up his third base coach, Tony Perez-Chica. A little bit of a dangerous send right there, but fortunately Cody Bellinger overthrew the cutoff man. No play at the plate.
Goldie's 31st double, now 109 RBIs, and here is J.D. Martinez.
Cross up.
Better check that chart again on his wrist. JD 277, 1 home run shy of 30. A pair of hits in the series. He singled and walked last night. Doubled and scored a run in Tuesday's opener. You see Goldie at second base. A little bit of history here. He is 1 run scored away from becoming the first Diamondback ever with 4 100-run seasons. And he's waiting to come home 2-0 on J.D. Martinez. That trickles off the side of the mound. Taylor gets over there. Goldie moves into third, 2 outs. This is interesting with Peralta getting the day off. You've got Blanco in left and leading off, so they drop AJ Bob down to 6th in the order.
I think that's based on the way AJ's been swinging the bat lately. We've talked about it over the last week or so. You could just see signs that AJ is starting to get back to where he wants to be offensively, and with the lineup configured the way it is today, I think Torey Lovullo thought, I'm going to put AJ in an RBI spot today and see what happens.
Well, he has produced an RBI in each of his last 5 hits, and 3 of those 5 hits have been home runs. Forsythe is there behind the bag, and Goldie's stranded at third, but the Diamondbacks strike first again. It's 2-0 D-backs.
Out for the second. Jody Jackson with you. The talk was about the Cy Young Award earlier today with Torey Lovullo, who you can tell the vote for him goes to Zack Greinke, saying, look, he's been incredibly durable. He's out there every fifth day. And yes, the competition is Clayton Kershaw coming back tomorrow, in fact, for the Dodgers. So it will continue, but he's top 5 in the National League in all the major categories. And even when you look at the advanced stats, guys, he's right there, 3 through 5 in all of those categories as well.
And Jody, if you want to go old school, of course, he's certainly got the wins. 15 leads the majors, tied for the major league lead. Here's Cody Bellinger. Kershaw has 115. Sale is 115 for Michael Brenly's Red Sox. And another surprise 15-game winner, Zach Davies for Milwaukee. And I believe he pitches tonight. Yeah, he does. Milwaukee 3 off the wild card pace. They are hosting Washington tonight, and Zach Davies will go for his 16th win in that game later today. 2-1 on Bellinger. Fastball's a strike, and it's 2-2. Bellinger second in the league with 34 homers. He singled and struck out 3 times last night in his return from the DL. Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, on deck. Bellinger had been out 9 games with a mild right ankle sprain. He hits it right into the shift. 4 up, 4 down for Greinke. Here is Yasmani Grandal. Where do you stand? I know you've got your finger on the pulse of all the sabermetric stats, studying your graphs and your charts and your films and everything. Where do you stand on pitcher wins as a measurement for Cy Young contention?
Well, I don't think it's very little of it is in the pitcher's control. You know, if you don't score runs, if you don't make plays behind a guy, it doesn't matter how good he pitches. So I tend to put less emphasis on wins than on some of the other statistics. But wins are good.
They sure are. Zach right now 3rd in the National League in strikeouts with 182 behind Scherzer and DeGrom. And he's been something of a horse for the Diamondbacks in terms of the innings pitched. As Jody mentioned, he's taken the ball every 5th day, 166 innings at the start of play today. And a 3.14 ERA that's top 5 in the league. 1-2 now on Yasmani Grandal.
Well, it's hard not to be a little biased if you're Torey Lovullo. I mean, he's watched Zach take the ball every 5th day all summer long. He's seen the amazing things he's done already this season. It's a little harder to look from the outside, and you know, we see Clayton Kershaw a couple, 3 times a year, whatever it is, maybe a few more times on television. But when you watch a guy banged into center field for a base hit, not only go out there and give your team a chance to win, but all the preparation that goes in place in the days between starts, the side sessions, the homework that Zack Greinke does. It's very easy to see how Torey would say that Zach is his guy for Cy Young.
And if you're thinking about every 5th day, which matters with a starting pitcher, especially a Cy Young ace, there's Kershaw, who's on the DL right now with a lower back strain, although he is scheduled to return tomorrow and start against the Padres in San Diego, but he's been out for a while. YASIEL Puig, a couple of hits in the series. He homered here Tuesday night. Puig now with 24 home runs, already a career high, hitting .260 on the year. Good slider from Greinke. It's 1-1. Puig has been hot. 12 hits in his last 9 games, including 3 homers. He's also walked 6 times over that stretch. The plate discipline has been dramatically improved this year.
He drew a walk in each of the first 2 games of this series.
Here's another one off the mask of Chris IANNETTA. 1-2 on Puig. Diamondbacks will add to their catching depth tomorrow when rosters expand. John Ryan Murphy, we're told, is with the ball club, brought up from AAA Reno, a catcher they acquired at midseason, a guy they like a lot. So we may see him over the course of this road trip. As we get set for roster expansion, when do we play Bruce Bochy? Let's see.
Oh boy.
He'll have 17 relief pitchers back there.
We joked about it when the Giants were in town. He'll be able to play matchups from the 3rd inning on.
Well. But John Ryan Murphy will be joining the Major League roster for September roster expansion. They could use the catching depth. 1-2 on Puig. Change up in the dirt. Grandal will move up as it rolls into the on-deck circle. And hard Greinke changeup, 88 or so.
It'll be a wild pitch on Zach Greinke. Yeah, just hit off the thumb of the glove, then off the right thigh, and skipped far enough away for Grandal to advance. That's happened to Chris IANNETTA a couple of times recently. He's been in really good blocking position, but when the ball hits the dirt, hits the side of his mid or the side of his shin guard or the chest protector, and gets just far enough away for runners to advance.
Seems like a lot of that is just luck.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you try to get yourself in the best possible position, get as much body in front of the ball as you possibly can, but if it doesn't hit you where you want it to hit you, it's got a good chance of getting away.
Tel Marte backhanded at shortstop, long throw to get Puig 2 down. That'll bring up Adrian Gonzalez, who's back in the starting lineup with Bellinger in the outfield.
First baseman,
Gonzalez had an RBI double against Archie Bradley Tuesday night. He's 1 for 5 in the series. Just 240 on the year with 2 homers. He's been battling a herniated disc in his back for much of the season. Grandal at second, 2 outs. Low curveball, he steals strike 1. This lineup with Gonzalez at first base against the right-hand pitcher and Cody Bellinger in the outfield. That's a real option for Dave Roberts going into September and October. It's an alignment that he can use occasionally against a right-hand pitcher, get Gonzalez some at bats. But most of the time it's going to be Bellinger at first base. Because you can put, if you do want to have Gonzalez in there, both Bellinger and Granderson in the outfield with Granderson's left-hand bat. So he's got some options there to try and get Gonzalez some ABs. Bellinger starting in left field today. Foul back, and it's 1-2.
You know, Bert, we talked a lot about Zach Greinke and his candidacy for Cy Young. One thing we didn't talk about was his defense. He's throwing a curveball here for a strike, so he thinks it might come back at him. Watch him get into a defensive position just like a shortstop would. As that ball gets into the hitting zone, he is another infielder.
That's how you win 2 Gold Gloves as a pitcher. 2-2 on Gonzalez. This will get Grandal home. Adrian Gonzalez, bad back or no, is always a problem. LA's on the board. It's 2-1.
He's been doing this for a long time. Adrian Gonzalez waits on that big Zach Greinke curveball. Gets just enough of it to hook it down into that right field corner. And bad back and all, he's able to hobble into second base with an RBI double.
You're talking about the luck on those wild pitches. And a wild pitch an extra 90 feet is such a big difference, because if Grandal is still at first, maybe they get the double play ball on the Puig grounder. If not, then maybe Grandal doesn't score on that hit, and you're looking at second and third right now. Here's Logan Forsythe. Fastball missed at 1-0. Forsythe having a down year offensively. They expected a lot better numbers than this. 233 and 4 home runs. He is hitless in the series with 4 strikeouts. Forsythe only 3 for 28 over his last 10 games, and he has struck out in half of those 28 at bats, so he is really fighting it right now. Fastball missed away. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Greinke had a relatively easy first, a long at bat against the leadoff man Chris Taylor, but then he got out of there pretty quickly. But laboring here in the second. Fastball misses up, and it's 3-1. You've got first base open and the pitcher on deck. Just not going to get Logan Forsythe, a guy who walks a lot, to bite at anything. And he didn't get anything to hit there, so they'll work to Maeda now with 2 on and 2 out.
You know, you can occasionally get a young player to chase some pitches in that 8-hole with a pitcher behind him, but a veteran like Logan Forsythe, he knows what you're trying to do out there, trying to lead him out of the strike zone, and he just refused to bite.
So Gonzalez is at second, Forsythe at first. 2 outs, a run is in. And here's the pitcher, Kenta Maeda.
Maeda, 118 hitter on the season. He's 4 for 34, but he's only struck out 1 time. Puts the ball in play.
It's become a 25-pitch second inning for Zach Greinke. And keep in mind, the bullpen has had to work pretty hard so far in this series. So the deeper he can get into this one, the better. Archie Bradley put on another show last night. And Fernando Rodney came on for his 34th save. Boy, Rodney got his 3 outs last night on only 11 pitches, struck out Bellinger to end it. He was pretty impressive.
And Torey Lovullo told the assembled media this morning that both guys are available. Everybody's good to go in the bullpen.
Yeah, you always want to have your bullpen as rested as possible before you get on a plane to Colorado.
No kidding.
That's a luxury they might not be able to afford here.
And we've talked about it in the past, anticipating a trip to Colorado, adding an extra pitcher to the bullpen, sometimes 2, knowing that in a 3-game series at Colorado, you may need a whole bunch of arms out of that pen.
Well, if you're going to go to Colorado, August 31st is a good date to go.
Yeah.
So you can bring up Jimmy Sherfy and Matt Cook and whoever else you want, Braden Shipley. So you will have some fresh arms back there regardless. Just depends on the names and the numbers. 0-2 on Maeda. 2 on and 2 out. Gonzalez digging for third, and he's in there as it trickles away from IANNETTA. Greinke spiked a slider.
Pretty good awareness out there by Adrian Gonzalez to advance on this wild pitch. Once again, hits him right in the middle of the chest protector, but bounces off to the left far enough for Gonzalez to advance. You see, IANNETTA came up ready to throw to second. He felt he had no play on Gonzalez at third. He was going to try to get Forsythe at second.
2 wild pitches in this inning from Greinke. 1 has already led to a run. And now it's first and third. 1-2 on Maeda. Chases that one. Chris will finish off the strikeout. And Greinke's out of a long second, but the Dodgers get 1. It's 2 on D-backs. want to greet a player who's just scored a run. But the other day, he got cut off by Gregor Blanco, and you can see David. He's like, hey, dude, that's what I do. That's my thing. And this was today. Blanco, after he scored, Taiwan is there, but he froze out Peralta. Now let's make up. Nope. So there's Taiwan defending his position. And David's down there manning his post. He's ready to jump out there and greet whoever scores. And Taiwan is there essentially as the backup.
We may need to assign seats over there. You know,
I think you're right.
Give high fives in order.
That has become an ongoing drama. So here's Descalso, the second baseman, to lead off the second against Kenta Maeda. And Taylor, the shortstop, will move almost right behind the bag at second. Forsythe on the edge of the grass at second base. Daniel in there, 241, 8 home runs. And Kenta Maeda is finally set to go. We can get started now. He needed all that time to prepare for that slider.
Pitch up and away, a mile out of the strike zone.
Almost threw it into the camera well. It's 1-0. Kenta Maeda just faced the D-backs here at Chase Field when the Dodgers were here earlier this month. He got a no decision in that start, a 6-3 D-backs win, and Maeda lasted, as he often does, only 5 innings. But he pitched pretty well, just 1 run allowed on 4 hits. There's the cut fastball, and he's ahead of Descalso, 1-2. Day off for Brandon Drury today, day game after night game, all that business. And Drury's had a big series, 2 doubles, a triple, but the day off here today. Pop foul, third base side. Maeda calling for it all the way.
Now Maeda won the equivalent of the Gold Glove in the Japanese leagues. He covers a lot of ground out there defensively. There's really no reason why a good athletic pitcher should be able to catch a pop-up. But you don't want the pitchers handling the ball any more than they have to. But that time a little pop up to the left side, and Maeda had the easiest play.
He's retired 3 in a row. Ketel Marte, the shortstop, single last night after sitting out a few days with tightness in that left hamstring. Boy, Bob, I know you're already all over this because you followed Ketel Marte's shoe game all year long, and he is ready for Throwback Thursday.
Throwback purple shoes, nice.
That's a good look right there. Purple gloves. He is very fashion forward, Ketel Marte. There's a lot of coordinating. He's toned down the colors on some of these shin guards and elbow pads. Pink goes with purple kind of nicely, I think. Late swing at that cutter, and it's 1-2.
If you weren't with us earlier, Ketel Marte, when he was initially called to the big leagues by the Diamondbacks, had to stop at a sporting goods store and buy a pair of shoes on his way to the ballpark because he felt he didn't have the right colored cleats. Subsequently, he's got about 1 million pairs of cleats.
Yeah, he got the hookup somewhere. He's got every color in the rainbow.
Red Sedona red ones. He's got Teal Tuesday shoes. Wearing the purples today.
As you described Yoenis Cespedes, he looks like a bag of Skittles up there.
A little bit like a bag of Skittles.
Got the green, neon green tape on the bat handle there too. Multicolored bat. You know, he almost looks standing, especially batting from the left side, like a somewhat modified Denard Span. Now that foot doesn't bend backward toward the catcher, but it's in a similar position, and he gets into a similar Denard Span type of crouch with those hands down low. We just saw Span and the Giants over the weekend here.
Now Span has one of the more unusual setups that you'll see in the major leagues. For Denard Span, that right foot, his toe is pointed straight back toward the umpire.
But it looks a lot like that.
Yeah. This little pigeon-toed gets into that crouch.
And he knocks it into right. A one-out single for Ketel Marte.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, we'll see what Zach Greinke wants to do here. 1 on and 1 out. Looking down to Tony Perez-Chica coaching at third. Gonzalez will check in with Maeda on the mound as to what they want to do with the runners. Turner will come in at third, couple of steps on the grass. Jumps on a first pitch fastball. No bunt there from Zach Greinke. Turner still playing in at third. Greinke shows bunt this time, pulls back and takes ball 1. Trying to stack the deck here against Kenta Maeda.
We've talked about the friendly competition among pitchers as hitters. As Greinke now 2 behind in the sacrifice bunt race. Patrick Corbin is up to 6 on the season.
Boy, Patrick had a couple of beauties in his last start. Squaring up again. Here comes Turner from third. They throw over to first. The conversations, the one-on-one conversations with Torrey are never ending in that dugout. Bunts it foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, now there will really be some indecision on the part of the Dodger defenders. Is Zach Greinke going to try to bunt in the 2-strike count to move the runner up? Is he going to swing away? Looks like Turner thinks he's still going to bunt in on the grass at third base.
Showing bunt right here. And he strikes out. Got a change up there from Maeda and missed it. 2 down.
Did you see the puzzled look on Zach's face as he looked up to the big board to see the velocity on that pitch? And what was it?
GREGOR BLANCO.
Good mid-80s changeup, just dropping down and in toward the righty. And he just whiffed on it. A chance for Blanco, who had a hustle double to lead off the ball game. Scored on Goldie's 2-run double. YASIEL Puig had a moment of lapse concentration on a base hit to right, and Blanco was able to stretch it into a double. It's been tough to get Blanco some regular playing time. He played nearly every day while A.J. Pollock was on the DL, but since A.J.'s come back on the 4th of July, Blanco's at bats have been very inconsistent. Well, you're going to look back at the end of this season, and one of the things you're going to highlight is the job that Gregor Blanco did, along with Ray Fuentes and some other guys, filling in for A.J. Pollock.
Absolutely. I mean, when the A.J. Pollock injury happened, I think everybody that roots for the Diamondbacks, including everybody in that third base dugout, was wondering, how are we going to get by without A.J.? But Fuentes and Blanco, as you said, and others stepped up, played the position defensively outstanding, and provided a lot of surprise offense as well.
And then you looked up, and near the end of June, the Diamondbacks, June 27th, were 22 games over 500. And most of that without A.J. Pollock, who was on the DL with that groin injury. Blanco ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. A little excuse me check swing foul. 2-2. D-backs beginning play today. 3 games ahead of the Rockies for the first National League wild card spot. And very importantly, the right to host that game. Rockies are off today. We fly to Denver after this one. Start a 3-game series at Coors Field tomorrow night. Brewers are 3 off the wild card pace. They host Washington tonight. Marlins and Cardinals are both 5.5 back. 2-2 on Blanco. Miami hosts the Phillies tonight. The Cardinals are at San Francisco.
That Philadelphia-Miami game, 2 of the hottest home run hitters in baseball going head-to-head.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Rhys Hopkins from the Phillies and Giancarlo Stanton from the Marlins.
And don't forget, fans, get your tickets for that Marlins series because Giancarlo's coming to town next month, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's a weekend. So head over to dbacks.com, get your tickets. Come down here and see Giancarlo Stanton and the Miami Marlins. And that's the final home weekend series of the season. 22, 3, and 4 in September. That'll be a lot of fun. Just come down and watch them take batting practice. Grandal can't hang on.
And just as a heads up for those of you who live within a 5-block radius of Chase Field, you might want to shatterproof your windows before Giancarlo takes batting practice.
Yeah, we should open the outfield panel so he doesn't break anything in here. Maybe head up to the Friday's Front Row Sports Grill and get a good seat right on that veranda there. Have some lunch and dodge some Giancarlo batting practice balls.
Is that a meatball in my spaghetti or a Giancarlo Stanton home run ball?
Don't tell anybody. Everybody will want one. 2-2. Blanco pokes it down the right field line, and that's a fair ball. We'll see how fast Marte can run. He's coming home. A wild throw is not in time. It got deep into that right field corner. Another double for Blanco, and it's 3-1 D-backs.
And just keep it fair down into that right field corner. It was hooking the whole way, but stayed a couple of feet fair. Puig with a throw from the right field foul pole all the way to home plate in the air. Marte was going to beat it either way. Or Blanco stay hot.
Well, Puig has thrown some guys out from near the warning track this year, so it's not like he can't do it. But with Marte's speed, he beat the throw. Blanco 2 for 2. 3-1 D-backs. Here's Chris IANNETTA, who walked his first time up. Chance to tack on another run right here. Chris got a first pitch slider in its own one. IANNETTA with his first inning walk has now reached base safely in 11 straight games. He's got 8 bases on balls over that span. Ketel Marte, a 1-out single. He comes home on the Blanco RBI double. Blanco, what a jump he got. He's in standing up at third. Oh, that's just stealing right there, literally.
Oh man, he just anticipated that Maeda wasn't going to make another look back to second base and just took off for third. 11th steal of the season for Gregor Blanco.
Pitch was a strike, so IANNETTA down 0-2.
That was a smart take by Chris IANNETTA.
Yeah, he could see all the way that Blanco had that base stolen cold. Fastball away, and it's 1-2. Just foul behind Blanco. A chance for Trent Watson. He's got to get down there. Long run for Trent. I'm not sure he's frankly got this kind of range.
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
He's got it. D-backs looking to match a season high with their 7th straight win and hand the Dodgers their first series sweep of the year. We got in his kitchen that time. It's 1-2. D-backs 7-8 against LA this year. 5-3 versus the Dodgers here at Chase Field. Jake Lamb hoping to get a chance. That's a lucky 13, and it's 5-1 Diamondbacks. You know what that means, baby?
Yes, I do. Happy tacos. Yeah. 5-1. Cement mixer slider that just never really took the break. Kind of hung up there on the inside corner for Chris IANNETTA, and he does not miss that mistake.
Boy, Chris IANNETTA batting in the 2-hole. That has really worked out well, and Torey Lovullo has run with it both against lefties and righties. A jumbo jack, free jumbo jack tomorrow, a Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Tell him CI sent you. Here's Jake Lamb. Got the slow curveball, and it's 0-1. We were just hoping it. Maybe a base hit could score Blanco, tack on one more, but IANNETTA goes deep, his 13th this year.
Greedy.
Well, that's the way you beat the Dodgers. You got to get greedy.
And stay greedy, because we know they can come back. We've seen it.
0-2 on Lamb. Shift is on. So the Diamondbacks with 2 in the first, now 3 home here in the second. And Lamb up there with a couple of home runs in his career against Kenta Maeda. Boy, Maeda does not want to throw him a fastball. Chris IANNETTA making it 5-1 Diamondbacks, and it's turned into a 30-pitch second inning for Kenta Maeda. Swing and a miss. Lamb strikes out, but the Diamondbacks get 3. Blanco an RBI double. IANNETTA a 2-run homer. 5-1 Diamondbacks going for the sweep. Dodgers 5-1. And D-back fans, we know you might be working, you might have school, so don't worry. Fox Sports Go is there for you. You can watch the Diamondbacks and Dodgers series finale with Zack Greinke on the mound with the app. It's free. You can download it right now and watch on your phone or your mobile device. You can also watch it at foxsportsgo.com. Chris Taylor leads off the LA third. There's strike one from Greinke. I got one for you.
Okay.
You saw Zack Greinke really have to work in that second inning against the Dodgers as Taylor hits one pretty deep right center. It backs up Pollard. Round out #1. Zack wound up throwing 30 pitches in his second inning. Kenta Maeda threw 31 in his. So a long second for both guys. But a quick out there for Greinke to start us off in the third. Here's Curtis Granderson. Granderson has struck out 6 times in the series. He's only hit that home run last night. That's sort of the way it has gone for Curtis Granderson since his trade from the Mets to LA. First pitch swinging. Greinke on his way to a short third if they can run this one down. Almost carried back on Marte. 2 down.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
Two outs on 3 pitches. Turner flied out his first time. Well, as we have seen in the first 2 games of this series, against these boys in blue, no lead is safe. D-backs on Tuesday led at 5-0 after 1 inning. They won 7-6. They were up, what, 6-0 going into the 7th inning last night and won 6-4. So LA has a way of coming back on you. But the D-backs in position to become the first team in baseball this year to sweep the Dodgers. 1-1 on Justin Turner. Oh, he got a slow curveball. Greinke left it up and he knocks it to the gap in left center. Turner second in the league in hitting as a 2-out double.
Boy, he identified this curveball quickly out of Zack Greinke's hands, kept his hands back, and drives that ball out toward the 413 mark in left center field.
That pitch has not really worked for Zack today. He's stolen a strike one here or there with it on the first pitch of the at-bat, but he's left it up a couple of times. I think he threw that pitch to Gonzalez, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here's Bellinger. Grounded out his first time. And Bellinger blasts one to straightaway center. AJ Pollock has got it! He's done that all year. The former Gold Glove winner in center field for the D-backs. Go get it!
at Chase Field. Time to take a look at our timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. A sad, sad day. We go back to the 2001 season. Well, we'll do that in a moment.
Must be really sad.
It is sad.
Goldie leads off the third. I don't know. I can't wait to find out what this is now.
It's sad.
All right. Slow slider steals the strike. There's the shift against Goldschmidt. 3 defenders on the left side of the infield. Do I need a hanky?
No.
Oh, all right.
Especially sad for catchers.
Oh boy. Heaven forbid there's bad news on the catching front with this day in history. Some catcher only went 3 for 5 or something, probably. Is it Brenly related?
No.
All right. Oh wait, is this? I think I know what this is. Is this one of your annual ones? This is one of your go-tos.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. There are certain ones that you highlight on the calendar every year.
But we've got another one coming up later.
Wow. Goldie drives it deep center field. Granderson. It's all turned around and it's off the wall. Goldie 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles. He's got 5 hits in the series.
Well, I know you've watched the movie Bull Durham a million times, like I have, like most baseball fans have, and the main character, the inspiration for the main character, was this gentleman right here, Crash Davis, who passed away on this day back in 2001.
I thought it was going to be the other one. Isn't today Steve Dalkowski Day?
Oh yeah, but he's a pitcher. That's for later.
Oh, all right. So there was an actual
Crash Davis. And every backup veteran catcher that hangs around in minor league or major league baseball for any amount of time, eventually you get called Crash. If you're not familiar with Bull Durham, what's wrong with you? But Crash Davis was a guy that had a taste of the major leagues, but was sent to the minor leagues to work with Nuke LaLoosh, a young wild pitcher, and kind of show him the ropes.
$1 million arm and a 5-cent head.
You told him what was coming again, didn't you? Yeah.
Here's the voice of the Durham Bulls, Teddy Garland. 1 ball and no strikes to Willie Foster. There's a million great lines from that one.
Yeah.
Candlesticks make a nice gift. Maybe a place setting. Find out where she's registered.
You know, of all the baseball movies out there, I mean, you know, there's some romance added to make it a movie, but as far as depicting what it's like to play in the minor leagues and the bus rides and living in small cities, Bull Durham is about as accurate a portrayal of minor league baseball as you will ever see.
I remember Ron Shelton doing an interview who made that movie, saying they had to film those scenes very late in the year. So there was one scene where Tim Robbins is dreaming he's pitching in his underwear, and it was freezing cold. They pitched that at night. Yeah, you could see the smoke coming out of their breath. They shot that, I guess, very late in the fall. Tried to spot the fastball, but missed on JD, and it's 2-2. Went back to the slider, and Martinez strikes out, 1 down.
Speaking of the minor leagues, it was a big day for the Crone family yesterday.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Yeah, Kevin Crone was named the Southern League MVP for the Jackson Generals. Had 23 home runs this season. His brother CJ Crone won some Suns season tickets off of Mike Trout.
I heard a little bit about this. It was a bet, right?
Apparently there was a bet, and CJ said he was going to go deep a couple times against the Oakland A's and went out and did it. And Mike Trout's going to get him some Suns season tickets.
Well, maybe we can go to a game.
Of course, their father, Chris Crone, is in his 4th season as a minor league hitting coordinator for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, we see Chris every spring training. A.J. Pollock popped up his first time. Just made a tremendous catch against the wall against Cody Bellinger to end the top of the third. That's about the third or fourth time A.J. has made a catch like that in the last few weeks. Goldie at second after a leadoff double, 1 down. A.J. sends one deep left center. That ball is gone. A.J. Pollock, that's number 9, and it's 7-1 D-backs. And here comes Goldie, scoring his 100th run of the year. He's the first Diamondback ever with 4 100-run seasons.
Torrey moves A.J. Pollock into an RBI spot in the lineup, and he comes through in a big way. Took an inside fastball and pulled it about 2 rows deep into the bleachers in left field.
A.J. Pollock, 4 of his last 6 hits have been home runs. And he has produced an RBI in each one of those last 6 hits. Another jumbo jack. They're going to eat well tomorrow at Jack in the Box. Daniel Descalso. One and one. Pretty good run there for A.J. Of his last 6 hits, 4 have been homers. Out of play, and it's 1 and 2 on Descalso. A.J. now with 5 RBIs in this series.
With that 2-run home run by A.J. Pollock, the Diamondbacks now have a 10-run advantage over the Dodgers in the season series. They've scored 79 runs to the Dodgers 69.
Telling you, L.A. wants no part of this Diamondback ball club in that division series. Descalso strikes out. If the D-backs hang on and win this, they will be 8-8 against the Dodgers this year, and 6-3 versus L.A. here at Chase Field. Marte singled and scored his last time up. 1 for 1. Base hit. Oh, they're getting to Kenta Maeda. Maeda had a 31-pitch second inning, and he's getting knocked around here in the third. Marte 2 for 2. Here's Zach Greinke. 7 runs on 8 hits for the Diamondbacks. 1 run on 3 hits for LA. Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt on the phone. They'll start to get the bullpen cranked up. Zach taking his cuts. Diamondbacks here with a chance to not only sweep this series and hand LA their first sweep of the year, it will also complete a perfect homestand with sweeps of both the Dodgers and the Giants. How about that? A perfect 6-0 on this quick homestand. And a win today would also match the Diamondbacks season high, would be 7 straight. Last time they did that, the middle of June. Tony Cingrani, former Cincinnati Reds great, a left-hander warming up in the Dodger bullpen. We saw him earlier in this series. Fly ball center field for Granderson. Diamondbacks with 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 more in the third. A.J. Pollock, that's his 9th of the year. It's 7-1 D-backs. Coverage of High Five Gate is ongoing. There is David Peralta. Now, this all started during Players Weekend. David likes to be the first guy to greet teammates back after they score. He got cut off by Gregor Blanco there. It's the Cox high-speed highlights. And then earlier today, it sort of turned into a cold war of high fives between these two. Nope, nope, nope. And then we have the newest version after the IANNETTA homer. Blanco and Peralta make up, but then it's a whack on the back of the head. Get in there.
Thought we were friends again, did you?
So that saga continues as Yasmani Grandal leads off the 4th. I tell you what, you know, David Peralta, he's got to drive everybody nuts on an off day. Oh. He is the energy guy in that dugout, and he's getting the day off today. Blanco's out there in left, and David is taking charge on the top step of that dugout.
The same issue back in 01, since this is a throwback Thursday. Guys hated it when I gave Steve Finley a day off.
Would he just make everybody crazy?
Oh, he'd just talk your ear off, you know. Hey, if you watch this guy, he inhales every time he throws a slider as he steps back. And if you look at his shoes, when he has them laced real tight, that's when he's going to throw a lot of fastballs. Finn's had some very unusual ideas and philosophies about hitting, and Gonzo used to sit on the bench with his hands over his ears going blah, 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 blah. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. They work for Steve Finley, but not for too many of the other guys.
Got to breathe through the right eyelid.
That's it.
Or the left eyelid, like the lava lizards. Popped it straight up, drifting over to foul territory. Goldie wants it. Calls off IANNETTA, 1 down.
I've told the story in the past about Steve Finley and John Franco, the great closer for the New York Mets, and Steve Finley swears up and down that he could tell by watching the vein in the left forearm as John Franco, as he went into his set position in the stretch, he could see a vein pop out when he was going to throw the changeup. Whatever works.
YASIEL Puig, if you're convinced. Boy, Greinke, we mentioned that 30-pitch second inning when the Dodgers got their run on the Gonzalez RBI double. Zach followed that up with a 7-pitch third. And now one down here in the fourth. There's ball one to Puig. Zach Greinke looking for his 16th win. That would be the most in the major leagues. Slow roller, just tapped to short for Ketel Marte. There's your boy, Fins.
Indeed.
A couple of gold gloves in center field. A.J. Pollock has followed that tradition. Gonzalez has knocked in the Dodgers' only run. He doubled down the right field line his first time up.
Boy, partner, you talked about that long second inning for Zach Greinke when he threw 30 pitches. He came back to throw 7 in the third, and that was his 7th pitch this inning. Now, you can survive a long pitch inning early in the ball game if you can back it up with a couple of single-digit innings to get that average back to where it needs to be as far as pitches per inning.
1-1 on Gonzalez. Yeah, the bullpen has really had to work hard in this series, so it'd be nice to get some guys a day here going into the series at Coors Field starting tomorrow night. There's that hard Greinke changeup at 88. It's 1-2. Well, Zach has only given up 1 hit since that Gonzalez RBI double. That was the ball that Turner hit, that hanging curveball back in the third. Logan Forsythe would be next. It'll be interesting to see what Adrian Gonzalez does next year. His contract only has 1 more year to go after this one. He'll make $21.5 million in 2018. But they've got Bellinger, who obviously can play first. He can also play the outfield. Gonzalez has had another season just kind of really wrecked by injuries. That back is an ongoing issue. He's had shoulder problems before. And he is 35 years old. He'll be 36 next May. Foul tip, and IANNETTA hangs on. Greinke gets the strikeout on the slider. 7-1 Diamondbacks. There are some technical difficulties with the 50-50 raffle website, so online sales for the 50-50 are not available today. Now, fans, if you've received your number, you will be included in the raffle. If you didn't receive an email receipt, you were not charged for your participation. And we want to thank you very much for your continued support of all our friends in Texas as we try and help out to relief for Hurricane Harvey. You can help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. Visit redcross.org or text the word Harvey to 90999. And when you do that, you'll make a $10 donation. That donation helps the Red Cross prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from the Hurricane Harvey disaster. But frankly, the system was just overwhelmed by everybody pitching in last night. The final pot as Tony Cingrani comes in here. The total, Bob, last night was over $245,000.
Wow. Tremendous job, Diamondbacks fans.
And the winning number was released earlier today from last night. But considering the previous record was about 102, 103, to get to $245,000 last night, that gesture and that effort on part of all the Diamondback fans out there really speaks for itself. So a tremendous job. And frankly, you broke the 50-50. So they're trying to figure out how to handle all the traffic. So that's the update on the 50-50. And again, thank you for your patience and even more so for your tremendous support and cooperation.
I've been told I may have to free up some of my staff to help out with the 50-50 raffle moving forward.
Yeah, I have seen some people pop into the booth requesting some of your staff members follow them down the hall. Usually it's for other reasons, disciplinary reasons.
Going to the principal's office. Yeah,
it's good to see everybody chipping in here. Good day for Gregor Blanco. He's got 2 doubles. He's scored twice. He's got an RBI and a stolen base. Not a bad day for the leadoff guy as they knock Kenta Maeda out of the ball game after only 3 innings. We saw Cingrani very briefly in Tuesday's series opener. He struck out Jake Lamb to win the bottom of the 8th. 2-2 on Blanco. And here's strike 3.
Hey fans, watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.tv every night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Chris IANNETTA continues to flourish, batting second in the order. He has walked and homered today. So Chris has hit safely in 7 straight games. He's reached base safely in 11 straight. And let's see if we can figure this out. This was IANNETTA in the second. Boom. His 13th of the year. It's really been a good fit, Chris IANNETTA batting second, and not just against lefties either. That's kind of the way it started out for Torey Lovullo, but he's carried it over now to have IANNETTA get some ABs batting second against right-handers.
I think initially it just started because Torey Lovullo thinks that Chris IANNETTA gives him a solid at bat, forces that opposing pitcher to throw a lot of pitches to either get him out or get on base. And those kind of at bats, when the opposing pitcher has to work hard to do something with the hitter in front of you, usually pay dividends on the hitter behind you.
And it also gives you some real thunder and some pop at the top of that lineup, as we saw in his last at bat. For Chris, 25 of his last 38 hits have been for extra bases, and that includes now 11 home runs. Got the fastball up and in. It's 2-2. So for Chris IANNETTA, this is his 9th start this year, batting in the 2-hole. And as the #2 hitter this year, he's hitting over .330 with 9 runs batted in those 9 starts. Just missed that fastball. It stays 2-2. What a signing this was. Chris IANNETTA, 34 years old. He didn't sign with the D-backs as a free agent until about mid-January or so. So it was a a relatively late signing for a guy that was going to handle a lot of responsibilities with the pitching staff and everything else that goes into being an everyday big league catcher. Torrey has commented just all year long about IANNETTA's been an absolute gift. The way he's handled himself up there with the bat and behind the plate.
Torrey's a big fan of guys that have a slow pulse. They don't let the game get moving too fast for them, and I think Chris IANNETTA falls into that category as well.
And this is another good example of why he's good, batting second in the order. He's worked the count full now, 3-2. Struck him out on a hard fastball, 2 down.
You look at the numbers for the D-backs offense in this series as we get another look at that elevated fastball to strike out Chris IANNETTA. Now granted, we didn't see Clayton Kershaw, we didn't see Alex Wood, we didn't see Yu Darvish in this series, but the Diamondbacks bats have put up 17 runs in just 9 2/3 innings from Dodger starters in this series. I mean, 9 2/3 from 3 starting pitchers in a 3-game series. Your offense is doing something right.
Here's Jake Lamb against the lefty Cingrani. Well, they faced Rich Hill, who was coming off 9 innings of no-hit baseball in his previous start and has been terrific all year. Then you got Ryu, who's been very solid, and today Maeda, 12-5 coming in. So yeah, you didn't get Kershaw, you didn't get Wood. The Padres will get both those guys this weekend, but it's not like Scruffy McScrufferson was pitching for LA here. Dodgers have the big shift on for Lamb. 2-0 on Jake.
I mean, the leads that the Diamondbacks have had in this series: a 5-0 lead in the first inning on Tuesday, a 6-0 lead on Wednesday going into the 7th inning, and today leading 7-1 here in the 4th.
7 runs on 8 hits so far. Jake Lamb shoots one the other way. Get down. Oh, it just missed. Well, Jake with 5 homers this year against left-handers. He's been hanging in there against lefties.
Talking about Dodger pitching, this is only the 13th time this season that Dodger pitching has allowed 7 or more runs in the game. 4 of those have been the Arizona Diamondbacks, including 2 in this series.
They have played this team tough all year long. You get a short series, D-backs and Dodgers, anything can happen. And Ronnie reaches out and catches that one on the fly. Works a 1-2-3-4. It's 7-1 D-backs.
But they will maybe look like a Pro Bowl football squad. It is Jersey Day, fantasy football draft later today. I walked into the clubhouse, guys, and Fernando Rodney was wearing the Larry Fitzgerald jersey. Taijuan Walker had Jimmy Graham. He's a big Jimmy Graham fan going back to New Orleans. And Jake Lamb and Brandon Drury, they're from the Pacific Northwest, love the Seahawks. But Daniel Descalso was wearing the David Johnson jersey to announce that he has the #1 pick. He's feeling good about it. Troy Lovello said, look, he's also a big fan of David Johnson as well. He got to meet him, hang out with him. So they're in the football spirit. And hey, guys, I have to tell you, it is good in life to have that #1
I was
pick.
going to say, who are you taking?
Who do you think?
You're going to take David Johnson. I'd like, Jody, I'd like you to go public and commit right now to David Johnson so I can cross him off the board, because we have our draft tonight as well in the Tom Candiotti League.
I am very happy to announce that. I am all in on that. And I have to say, speaking of Tom Candiotti, a certain a member of our team, maybe even the commissioner, he wasn't really aware of David Johnson much last year, and yours truly might have tipped him off.
Way to go.
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
going,
I regret every minute of that.
Now it is Tom Candiotti's birthday. There he is working D-backs radio just to our right, along with the governor, Greg Schulte, and the moral compass, Mike Farron.
He's 24%, per ball about 12. But seems like that number is kind of flip-flopped in this game.
Yeah, Candy celebrating a birthday today, and also an anniversary of one of his best starts at the major league level as Greinke strikes out Forsythe to start the top half of the 5th inning. Back in 1992, Tom Candiotti pitching for the LA Dodgers. Lost 2-0 to the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Now, Candy threw a complete game that day. 8 innings, gave up only 2 hits, no earned runs. The two runs rather, scored via the air. Greg Maddux got the win in that game. Time of game, 1 hour 56 minutes.
That's your favorite stat.
Ooh.
I was asking Candy about that game before the game today, and he said, yeah, Steve Buechele. Like right away, just fired off the name of the guy that broke up the no-hitter. And they end up losing the ball game. Here's Utley, who will hit for Cingrani, the pitcher. But yeah, we have our fantasy league, and Jody. You know, how did Jody get the first pick? I think there's some subterfuge.
You think?
Is that a word?
Sure it is. It is now.
Now, and by the way, also, how does Derek Hall pick last? Derek is in the league. He's got the last pick. So something went wrong there. So Jody is committed to David Johnson. I'm picking 4th. I'm thinking Mike Evans. But the players make a big deal out of this. We've seen the players have their draft, and it looks like the real draft in New York. They have tables set up, video screens. Everybody. They all wear the jerseys, as Jody mentioned. They rent out a room, one of the conference rooms in whatever hotel we're in, and they really do it right. And Zach Greinke is a big fantasy football nut. He's into it. That's become a big thing with teams all over the league.
Oh yeah,
kind of like a team bonding kind of a deal.
I've told the story many times in the past, but back in 01 or 02 it might have been, I can't really remember which year, but we were in LA for the fantasy football draft, and the guys went over to the Fox studio for the NFL pregame show. Terry Bradshaw showed up, and Howie Long, and the guys got to have their draft over there at the set.
That's big time. We have Tom Candiotti as our commissioner, so we don't have those. Yeah, our facilities are not what they might be. Just missed with that fastball, and it's full 3-2. You're not a fantasy football guy.
Nah, not really. This reminds me way too much of homework. Studying numbers, patterns, schedules. I just let the game flow over me.
Roll out the balls. Deep to center, AJ.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game.
Shortstop, Chris Taylor.
6 in a row retired by Greinke. Raven has started warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Here's Taylor, who's 0 for 2, the leadoff man. 6 in a row set down by Zach, and 9 of the last 10. He's at 70 pitches. I remember one time they had the draft and J.J. Putz had an Andy Dalton jersey on, the Bengals quarterback. It looked just like him. Big, tall, redhead guy.
See, my problem, if I was in a fantasy football league, I would draft all Cardinals because I root for them every weekend anyway.
Yeah, you got to be, there's a lack of sentimentality has to enter into it. You got to really commit. I just hope to get my boy Tom Brady every year, and anybody else I get is fine. Three and one on Taylor. Base is empty, 2 outs. He walked him. Just missed with that fastball. Second walk issued by Greinke.
It's a tough take right there by Chris Taylor. Looked like that ball was near the bottom of the strike zone, but in the estimation of Jeff Nelson behind the plate, just a little too low.
Granderson 0 for 2. Let's have a look at where that pitch was or was not.
This is tough to take. Ooh. Maybe just dip below the zone, not by much.
Fastball in, 0-1. Granderson just 1 hit in the series. That was the home run last night. He struck out 6 times so far. Another one rolls away from IANNETTA. It's going to be Greinke's 3rd wild pitch today.
Once again, looked like Chris was in pretty good position. Everything in right where it's supposed to be. It just hits a little bit on the right side of that chest protector and gets far enough away to allow Taylor to advance to second base with 2 outs in the inning.
It seems like, Bob, they're taking that short hop right in front of Chris, which I imagine if it's really close to the catcher, it's going to be a harder carom. I mean, he's trying to keep the ball down, but it's right at his feet most of the time. Coming in hot.
That's why I always say there's no such thing as a bad block. Even if it's a lucky block, if you can keep that ball close enough to hold the runner at his base, it's been a good block, because occasionally you can do everything right and the ball still gets away, like we've seen happen a couple times today. A lot of luck involved.
1-1 on Granderson. Our changeup away. It's 2-1. Granderson, since his trade from the Mets to the Dodgers, has only 5 hits, but 4 of those 5 hits are homers. Picked up on August 19th for a minor leaguer. Slow curveball, and again Jeff Nelson didn't like it. It's 3-1.
And one thing to Zach Greinke's credit, with a 6-run lead in the ball game here, he's not just throwing it over the plate and tempting the Dodgers to put it in play. He's still using his whole arsenal, changing speeds, moving the ball around, pitching as if this were a tie game.
But they're laying off some borderline pitches. On the ground to Descalso. And Greinke strands the 2-out walk. Bottom 5 coming up. D-backs lead the Dodgers 7-1.
Time to take a look at our Geico legacy moment. We go back to 1957. Now Steve Dalkowski strikes out 24 Bluefield players, but he walked 18, hit 4, and threw 6 wild pitches in a 9-8 loss. Now Steve Dalkowski, you want to talk about the stuff of legend? This guy never pitched an inning in the major leagues, and yet if you ask people who were around and saw him pitch, they'll say he threw harder than anybody that's ever played the game.
He just didn't know where it was going.
The stories about Steve Dalkowski go on and on and on. It's just remarkable to read some of the things that you can find online. Threw a 4-hitter, struck out 19, but got beat 8-3. He was pulled in the 2nd inning in one game after throwing 120 pitches.
Stop it.
In high school, he had an 18 strikeout, 18 walk, no hitter. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. A guy that obviously had tremendous physical gifts, but just couldn't harness them.
Well, Goldie's got some physical gifts of his own. He's doubled twice. He's knocked in 2 runs, scored a run. New pitcher is Josh Raven, the right-hander. We saw him Tuesday night. Zach Greinke had to throw a few extra pitches in there in that 5th inning. But he's through 5 with a 7-1 lead, trying to add to it right here. And Goldie looks at a slider for strike 3.
This is one of my personal favorites. Pitching in the Eastern League in an extra inning game, Steve Dalkowski struck out 27 batters and walked 16 through 283 pitches.
I bet none of those games were an hour and 56 minutes like the Candiotti game. JD Martinez 0 for 2. Josh Raven is a guy who's been up and down with the Dodgers all year long. His 4th different stint with a big league club, up from AAA Oklahoma City. First pitch slider steals the strike against Martinez. It's 0-1. Raven came on and worked the 7th inning Tuesday night. Pitched into the 8th, gave up a Brandon Drury 2-out triple, but other than that, retired 5 of the 6 he faced. Martinez trying to extend the 4-game hitting streak. He's got 2 hits in the series. JD with 9 hits in his last 10 games, and 5 of those hits are home runs. Missed inside with a fastball, and it's 3-1. A.J. Pollock, who homered his last time up, is on deck. Fastball's a strike. It's a full count, 3-2. 7 runs on 8 hits for the Diamondbacks. 1 run on 3 hits for the Dodgers. Gregor Blanco has a pair of doubles. IANNETTA has homered. Pollock is homered. Goldie has doubled twice. Ketel Marte 2 for 2. And a series of really a whole homestand full of a lot of Diamondback offense. And Fernando Rodney saves. He has been sensational. How about 12 saves in August? That's a D-backs monthly record. Previous record was 11, held by J.J. Putz. Lays off a high fastball, works a 1-out walk, and here comes A.J. A.J. Pollock, 4 of his last 6 hits have been home runs. This was A.J. in the 3rd.
Oh, somebody in the background yelling, ho! And A.J. Pollock hit that ball out of here to left field.
AJ had a 2-run homer in his first at bat on Tuesday night. And he takes one right in the back from Raven.
Well, it's worth mentioning that the Dodgers had a couple guys plunked in the ball game last night, including Cody Bellinger in his first game back off the disabled list. That one gets him right in the hip pocket.
We'll keep an eye on how this develops as Descalso steps in. There's Robbie Ray, who struck out 10 in 6 2/3 last night. Last time we saw some warnings issued, it was, I believe, in Minnesota, where Torey Lovullo got himself thrown out. Descalso has popped up, struck out. Just behind Dave McKay at first base. And there's David Van Ness, our Golden Glover down the right field line. Dr. Van Nostrand.
A little flash there.
Showy.
I'd get that check.
And there's Trent Watson working left field today. You don't have a lot of bits, but that's one of your best ones. That one is belted toward the right field corner. Puig over to cut it off. JD Martinez is home. It's another RBI for the Diamondbacks. This time it's Daniel Descalso who makes it an 8-1 ball game.
Right down the center of the plate. Daniel pulls it down into that right field corner. Thought we might see Puig try to spin around and throw the runner out at home plate, but he does the smart thing, gets it back into second base. Daniel Descalso with an RBI knock.
AJ in at third, and here's Ketel Marte, who was singled twice and scored a run. Now 8 runs on 9 hits for the D-backs. Second, Taylor for 1, and they turn it. But the Diamondbacks tack on another run. No lead is too big against these guys. It's 8-1 Diamondbacks. Here it's 8-1 Diamondbacks over the Dodgers. Zach Greinke back out there to start the 6th inning. Our State Farm winning combo. Best home record through August 30th, which is yesterday. Zach Greinke 12-1 this season, and that is #1 on the Diamondbacks list. There's the big unit down there. He's there as well. Zach Greinke has been outstanding here in this ballpark all year long. 12-1 with a 2.36 ERA and 15 starts at Chase Field this season. Turner, who doubled his last time up, will lead off the LA 6th. Interesting to see A.J. Pollock bat in that bottom of the 5th inning and get immediately plunked in the wallet by Josh Raven. Because Turner up there was hit by a pitch in the 9th inning Tuesday, and then Bellinger got hit by Chafin in the 8th inning last night. So maybe in a 7-1 game at that point, Dodgers, I don't know, just keeping things balanced. Don't want to use the word retaliate, but we'll keep an eye on that situation.
On the hit by pitch by Andrew Chafin of Cody Bellinger last night, if you recall, Andrew Chafin couldn't find the plate. Everything was missing to his arm side, away from a right-hander into a left-hander. So not really surprised that Andrew clipped Bellinger in the ball game last night. But
well, if Turner gets hit one game and then Bellinger gets hit the next game, two of their best hitters, they're probably not going to feel real good about that as Turner strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Zach, 1 down.
Hey fans, the day after every Diamondbacks win, get 50% off. Where am I at? All pizzas at regular menu price.
Wait, you
using
screwed
promo
up the
code.
Stop the presses. He screwed up the pizza promo.
I
What
was
are the
trying
odds?
to write and look at the field and read this at the same time. The day after every Diamondbacks win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
I got to stop and see who had August 31st in the pool. That never happened.
No.
Wow. There is Bellinger 0 for 2. Luis Avilan warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Avilan pitched an inning in the game last night.
Tried to do too much with that read.
Well, stay within yourself.
Yeah, watching the monitor and trying to read and write. Just too many things on my plate at once.
It's a difficult job. People don't realize. D-backs have the shift on against Bellinger. Bellinger singled, struck out 3 times last night coming off the DL. He had a mild right ankle sprain. 0 for 2 so far today. Three and 1. Grandal on deck. He singled and scored the only Dodger run back in the 2nd inning. Greinke's spot is due to lead off the bottom of the 6th. He's about to throw pitch number 90 here. And with an 8-1 lead, you figure this should be it. Full count 3-2. Popped him up behind shortstop. Shift was on, so Lamb's the only guy over there pretty much, and Jake's got it for the 2nd out. Yasmani Grandal. He had 3 hits in Tuesday's game. 1 for 2 today. He singled and scored. There is Avilan, who came on in last night's ball game. Worked the 7th inning. Threw only 8 pitches in that inning. Boy, one just by a diving Descalso and into right center, a 2-out single. So 5 hits in the series for YASMANI GRANDAL.
Was hit hard, but Descalso almost made a play on it. Fastball up and out over the plate, and GRANDAL hooks it back to the right side. Descalso maybe playing a step or two to pull on that right side of the infield, and that was the difference in his inability to get to that line drive.
Well, here's YASIEL Puig, who is hitting almost half his base hits this year on the ground, or I should say when he puts the ball into play on the ground, and he's grounded out twice so far. One of the major league leaders in terms of hitting into double plays. Fights that one off at 0-1. And when basically half the time you put the ball into play, it's on the ground, that's going to happen. Thursday matinee here in downtown Phoenix. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs trying to sweep the Dodgers and make it a perfect 6-0 homestand. It would be the first time all year the Dodgers have been swept in a series. They've already lost 4 in a row for the first time since May of last year, 2016. That one goes right through 5-hole on IANNETTA. GRANDAL moves up. That might be wild pitch number 4. It is.
Well, as we've shown you throughout the afternoon, that can be a deceiving stat as well. Chris IANNETTA, until that last wild pitch, has been in perfect blocking position, but the ball has just taken some bad hops back there behind the plate today. That last one, he didn't quite get the glove all the way down to block that 5-hole.
2-1 on Puig. Well, we're guessing that with an 8-1 lead and his spot due up first in the home half of this inning, this will be it for Zack Greinke. No one warming up the bullpen yet, but if it is, he's working on 6 innings of 1-run ball. He's given up only 4 hits. He's walked 2, struck out 5. 2 outs, 2-2 on Puig. Went back to that slider, just did get a piece to stay alive. ADRIAN Gonzalez is on deck. He would be next. Gonzalez has knocked in their only run, an RBI double in the second. Full count, 3-2. Got him. Zack Greinke gets through 6 with an 8-1 lead. D-backs looking to sweep the Dodgers. here as Adam Rosales will hit for Greinke to lead off the home half of the 6th. We're on an airplane after this one, BB. It's Valley Toyota Dealers. Let's go places. We talked about at the start of this series a stretch of 9 straight games against the Dodgers and the Rockies. Well, it started off great, looking at a 3-game sweep here. Now we go to Colorado over the weekend for an enormous series that starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's always fun to go to Coors Field. You never quite know what you're going to see. Occasionally somebody will jump up and pitch a gem in that ballpark, but generally you can count on a whole bunch of offense.
And then we go to LA, so it's right back against these Dodgers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at Chavez Ravine. Luis Avilan, the new pitcher. We've seen Avilan, oh, we saw him last night. He worked 1 inning. He pitched the 7th. And he's out there to start the bottom of the 6th here today. Rosales will hit for Greinke. Some defensive changes for Dave Roberts. Justin Turner comes out of the game. Logan Forsythe moves from 2nd to 3rd base. And Austin Barnes, the ASU Sun Devil, who was the starting catcher last night, takes over at 2nd base. And that's something that Barnes did in college and still does occasionally here in the big league level. Play some infield. He started out his career as a middle infielder. So Rosales hits for Greinke. Adam homered in his first at bat last night, 236 on the year. Jeff Nelson checking in with Torey Lovullo about Dave Roberts' changes. And we're going to check the card, make sure everything's where it is. I think they're saying that Avilan is going to bat 3rd in the lineup because Turner is out. They have it incorrectly on the board here, so that's what all that was about. How about Adam Rosales, 2nd batter of the ball game last night off Hyunjin Ryu. They ruled it a triple initially, but it was clearly over the line. Umpires got together even without video replay and said no, that was over the line, a home run. And that was the 6th of the year for Adam Rosales. He has hit safely now in 5 of his last 7 games. Well, Adam's been a valuable contributor as of late. He's played some shortstop when Ketel Marte was injured. He's looked very good defensively at 3rd base on a couple of day or nights off for Jake Lamb. Had the home run last night, batting 2nd and playing 3rd. Acquired at the trade deadline from the Oakland A's. Zach Greinke, 6 innings, 1 run on just 4 hits. Looking for his 16th win of the year. That would be the most in the major leagues. Zach Davies of the Brewers has 15 wins. He pitches tonight. Milwaukee is hosting Washington. Gio Gonzalez against Zach Davies in that game. Brewers only 3 off a wild card spot. Taylor at shortstop's got it. Gregor Blanco has had a good day. He has doubled twice. He's scored twice. He's got an RBI and a stolen base. Not bad.
And apparently back in David Peralta's good graces, we think.
We've been following that story closely here for you, part of our investigative eye team. David with the day off, and he's causing a lot of problems for everyone down there. Mentioned that Brewer game tonight. National League wild card race as TJ McFarland may be able to close this thing out from here on in. He starts to warm up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. TJ coming off that spot start at Minnesota, so it's been a while for him. D-backs 3 games up on Colorado for that first National League wild card spot. Rockies are off today. Milwaukee 3 back. They host the Nationals. Marlins and Cardinals are both 5.5 off a wild card spot. Miami hosts the Phillies tonight. Cardinals are at San Francisco. 2-2. Last time the Diamondbacks won 7 straight games, the middle of June, June 18th. And they really got it rolling. There's IANNETTA, who has walked and homered today. This would be the Diamondbacks' 7th straight win. They would have won 7 straight and 9 of 10 if they can hang on here. And they'd be 3.5 games ahead of the Rockies for that first wild card spot.
It seems like we've been saying that for the better part of a month. If the Diamondbacks preferably, but if anybody could get hot, as Blanco stays hot, grounds one up the middle for a base hit.
That's his 3rd hit today, Gregor Blanco.
Hey, don't miss the first ever Grandparents' Day here at Chase Field. Create memories with the family and enjoy the D-backs Padres game on Sunday, September 10th. Get a game ticket and take home a keepsake photo with the special event ticket pack. Visit dbacks.com/grandparents.
Now, how many of the Brenly brood are coming in for that one? Everybody going to make it?
It remains to be seen. Yeah, there's some scheduling conflicts in the Brenly party, so we'll just have to wait and see on September 10th.
Staff is working out those. Yeah. I know all of the grandchildren insist on flying first class, and that's created some problems.
Well, it's just uncomfortable when I have to come from the back of the plane all the way up to first class to give them a bottle or something.
And then you have to go walking
then
back.
I have to go back.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Talk about boss baby. Good day for IANNETTA. He walked in the first, homered in the second, his 13th of the year, struck out his last time.
Best seat in the house. Second best seat in the house.
Well, they got their hands full, those two. Well, you hate to see a kid steered wrong like that at such a young age.
Yeah. Boy, and that's a common reaction from a child that age. You give them a baseball, they want to eat it. I've got pictures of my son Michael at home with a baseball in his mouth.
Change-up's a strike, 2-1. D-backs with 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and 2 more in the third. They added another run in the 5th. Fans of all ages here on this Thursday matinee. I got to check the schedule because I think this is the last. No, we got one more. We got one more Throwback Thursday coming up September 14th against the Rockies, and that's a 12:40 start too. So to get a matinee price on your ticket, the end of that 4-game Rocky series, September 11th through the 14th. Second base on balls for Chris IANNETTA. He's been aboard 3 times. Here's Jake Lamb.
The Diamondbacks this year are 4-2 wearing the throwback purple.
Third baseman, Jake Lamb.
Headed to 5-2. This one not exactly catching the attention of YASIEL PUIG. Checking out some of the architecture. Wow, look at that. There's a roof up there and everything. Well, over there too.
Just checking for pigeons in the rafters.
Well, they're there. Not as bad as Citi Field in New York, thank goodness, but get the odd bird here and there. That's why Randy Johnson's sitting down front, just in case we need him. Blanco at second, IANNETTA at first, 1 out. Jake 0 for 3.
Big breaking ball from Avilan that time. That's that old American Legion curveball. You start it right at the hitter's front shoulder and break it right down in the middle of the strike zone. And your first reaction as a hitter when you see that ball coming at your front shoulder is a freeze.
Jake's plate discipline has improved so much this year. He's so patient, especially against right-hand hitters, that it seems like, Bob, sometimes against lefties he gets caught looking at a curveball like that.
It's quite an adjustment, you know, for a guy that's always been a fairly aggressive swinger up there at the plate to try to be more patient, to try to work deep counts. It's got to be quite an adjustment.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Gonzalez has it at first. They get 1 and they turn 2. That's the end of the inning. We'll head to the 7th. It's 8-1 Diamondbacks.
Curveball was an outstanding weapon for him tonight. These are first pitch curveballs to Dodger hitters. He threw 6 of them in the game, 5 of them for strikes to jump ahead in the count. Zach retired the leadoff hitter in every inning here tonight. And that curveball was a big part of it. Got the swing and a miss right there from Cody Bellinger on a big first pitch curveball.
He was terrific tonight, or today I should say. 1 run on 4 hits in 6 innings. He walked 2, struck out 6, and gives way to the left-hander TJ McFarland. It's the Ashline call to the bullpen. TJ's 34th appearance, coming off that abbreviated spot start in Minnesota on the last road trip.
I think you called it right too, partner. Ideally, TJ McFarland gives Torey Lovullo the final 3 innings of this ball game, and the rest of that bullpen could take the day off in preparation for a trip to Colorado.
That's an enormous advantage heading into that very, very important series that starts tomorrow night at Coors Field. Taijuan Walker gets the baseball against the Rockies' Kyle Freeland. And it's Patrick Corbin against John Gray, Zach Godley against Antonio Senzatella. Adrian Gonzalez has knocked in the Dodgers' only run, an RBI double in the 2nd. And he'll lead off the 7th, 1 for 2. 1-2. Dodgers still with just 1 run on 4 hits in the ball game. TJ's got it. Glove save and a beauty. 1 down. Getting to know ARP. AARP, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. It's been a long run for this Diamondbacks rotation, even before this series. Starting pitching the last 10 games, including Zack Greinke today. How about this? 7-1 with a 1.89 ERA. That's how you get to the postseason. Sorry, bud.
No surprise that the Diamondbacks' recent run of success starts out there on that bump in the middle of the field. It always seems to revolve around starting pitching.
Robbie Ray was sensational last night. 10 strikeouts in 6 2/3. Zach Godley got the win in the series opener Tuesday. Patrick Corbin was sensational again Sunday against the Giants. Taijuan Walker got the win Saturday. Greinke opened things up Friday with a win over the Giants. And on it goes. Here's Forsythe. Jeff Nelson hearing it from the Dodger dugout. Final play, and it's 1-2. YASIEL Puig, yeah, he's still fascinated by something in the roof or the ceiling, the beams, the girders, I don't know what. Maybe he wants to climb up there. You've ever been up there?
No.
That catwalk?
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. I've been invited to do that once or twice, and I quickly put down that suggestion. But there is obviously a walkway above the clock, way up high in dead center. You can obviously they have maintenance issues and stuff. You got to be able to walk up there. Hard to short. Right to Ketel Marte. Nice high. I remember when we were in Australia, everybody went to climb the Sydney Bridge. And there's no way I was doing that.
Saw the pictures. That looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Count me out. Yeah, there's the walkway above the clock in dead center, way up there.
Now, I had the opportunity to go up in the rafters at the Astrodome one time. We were doing a Fox Saturday game back in the day, and we shot our open way up in the rafters of the Astrodome, and that was enough for me.
So they made you go up and do it.
Yeah.
Here's Austin Barnes, who was the starting catcher last night. He checked in at second base midway through this one. That one almost got George Lombard down there at first. Barnes had a single last night. He's 1 for 5 in the series. Pedro Baez warming up in the LA bullpen. Goldie will lead off the 7th. No need for Kenley Jansen in this series.
That's always a good thing.
Sure is. That's one way to take away the effectiveness of the Dodgers closer, is have the lead. Fastball misses up. It's 1-2. Here's the big closer, Kenley Jansen. They're going to need him to get some big outs in September and October. Ranked second right now in the National League with 35 saves. Fastball missed. It's 2-2. How about this for Kenley Jansen? He has appeared in 56 games this year. 50 have been scoreless. 50 scoreless appearances. 93 strikeouts against 6 walks. Full count, 3-2.
And throws a trick pitch that guys know it's coming, and they still can't hit it. That cut fastball right out of the Mariano Rivera playbook.
58 in the third innings. He's got 93 strikeouts. Holy moly. National League reliever of the month in June. Barnes hits this to center, and AJ's there. TJ McFarland, the 1-2-3 7th. We stretch here at Chase. 8-1 Diamondbacks going for the sweep. In downtown Phoenix, D-backs lead the Dodgers 8-1, looking to close out a 3-game sweep of LA before it's off to Colorado. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. A huge 3-game series against the Rockies, who are right behind the Diamondbacks for that first National League wild card. It's the fight for postseason fans. We'll have all 3 games for you right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Tomorrow night, it's Taijuan Walker against Kyle Freeland. And then Patrick Corbin versus the hard-throwing John Gray Saturday. Sunday, Zach Godley against Antonio Senzatella. And then it's off to Dodger Stadium for 3 more against these boys from LA. Let's sweep LA away. It would be the first time a team has swept the Dodgers this year. New pitcher for LA, Pedro Baez, the right-hander. Paul Goldschmidt will lead off the 7th. Goldie has doubled twice today. He scored a run he's knocked into. D-backs trying to even the season series with the Dodgers at 8 wins apiece. They would improve to 6-3 versus LA here at Chase Field. And if you don't think that registers in the minds of every Dodger fan, if you're thinking about a potential Diamondback-Dodger division series matchup in the postseason, you're kidding yourself, because the Diamondbacks have played these guys tough every game all year long. But first, you got to get past that wild card game, and hopefully that one's going to be right here, hosting maybe the Rockies. We'll get a preview this weekend if it is. Always seems like, Bob, the team that actually does play in that wild card game seems to do pretty well as the season goes on, because they don't have that layoff.
Just keep rolling. It almost feels like a regular season. You take a day or 2 off right after the regular season ends. You're into that 1-game wild card playoff, and then right into the NLDS after that if you're successful in the wild card game.
And the wild card game would be Wednesday, October 4th. And the last game of the year for the Diamondbacks is in Kansas City on Sunday the 1st. So you would, with 2 days off there, have a chance to rest and maybe set up your starter. Which, if the game was here, and if you could work it out that way, would almost certainly be Zach Greinke.
Oh, I would think so.
Because of Zach's outstanding record here at Chase Field this year. If he gets the win here, he'll be 13-1 in this ballpark this season. And then with the way Robbie Ray has pitched, not only on the road, but against these Dodgers, that's a perfect game 1 starter if you win the wild card game and go to LA for the second round. So that lines up pretty well for the D-backs. 2-2 to Goldie. But the wild card teams in recent years have done pretty well. They've advanced pretty deep into the postseason. And the teams that have had the big layoff, 3-4 days, whatever it is, maybe even longer, they seem to have trouble getting kick-started again.
Well, ideally, you clinch a wild card spot early enough so you can massage your rotation, get guys lined up the way you want them in that last week of the season. You know, and of course, we're not down in the Dodger dugout or on the planes or buses, as that one's grounded hard down at third base. Forsythe will fire across for the out. But the Dodgers, you know, with a 17-game lead going into play today, they haven't really played a meaningful game in a long time. I mean, as far as a must-win, urgent situation game.
I'm not sure they've played one all year, frankly.
So, you know, like I said, we're not down in that clubhouse. We don't know the mindset of these players, but you have to believe that the sense of urgency that the teams that are battling for a playoff spot, the sense of urgency that they have going toward the end of the season and possibly into the playoffs is going to be a much more desperate play than the Dodgers, who are just cruising to the finish line.
And have been, it seems, for most of the summer. I mean, way out in front of everybody. 91-40 coming into today. JD 0 for 2 with a walk.
I mean, it does afford the Dodgers the luxury of, I mean, a couple guys on the disabled list. We're not sure how disabled they are, but giving some guys a little bit of a break in the middle of the season here. You might see some more guys slide on and off that 10-day disabled list before the end of the season, just making sure everybody's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, the Dodgers right now have 4 starting pitchers on the DL in Kershaw, Wood, McCarthy, and Kazmir. Kershaw is scheduled to come off the DL and pitch tomorrow in San Diego. And then Wood comes off the DL and pitches Sunday against the Padres. 0-2 on JD Martinez. 2 down. Now here's a question for you. Diamondbacks finish up the season on that final weekend with 3 against the Royals in Kansas City. Now, knowing how good and how well it's great Zack Greinke has been at Chase Field, if you think you're going to get the home game for the wild card, but you still need to clinch it, do you throw Greinke in Kansas City, or do you save him for the wild card and hope for the best against the Royals? Now, hopefully, we're not in that situation. As you said, you like to, you know, massage things a bit as best you can, but if you don't get that cushy lead and you can hold Greinke back for the wild card game, you might need him that last weekend in KC. These are the things that I saw some of your staff working on before the game today, because you're always looking ahead long term.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be prepared.
Like I said, it would just be really nice for the Diamondbacks if they could be guaranteed a playoff spot, win that first wild card, put enough ground between yourself and the Rockies and the Brewers and everybody else that you know you're going to play that 1-game playoff, and then you still have 5 or 6 days left at the end of the season where you could get some at bats for your bench guys, get some rest for your everyday players, get that pitching lined up exactly the way you want it, and go get them.
Well, the one nice thing in that regard is that they will have, in a sense, control of their own destiny with Colorado, because you've got 7 more games against the Rockies, 3 this weekend at Coors, and then 4 games back here at Chase Field, September 11th through the 14th. That's a Monday through Thursday. That's going to be the biggest series of the year. So you do have a chance to inflict some damage on Colorado and pad your own lead, so you're not depending on everybody else and watching the scoreboard every night hoping for help. Well, those are 2 enormously important series. 3 this weekend at Coors Field, and then 4 against the Rockies in the middle of September. Back here at Chase. The Diamondbacks, if they hang on here, they've been outstanding against everybody in their own ballpark. A win today would make them 45-23 at home this year. AJ able to hold off on that hard slider from Baez, and it's full 3-2. So if you haven't already got your tickets, fans, for that Colorado series, get at dbacks.com and get on board. Monday the 11th through Thursday the 14th. That Thursday's a day game, 12:40 start. That will be a critical series. Chance, if you can hang on here, to take a 3.5 game lead over Colorado into Coors Field starting tomorrow night. So there's a little cushion going into that series. Broken bat, and Barnes is out there to collect it, drops it, recovers. AJ with that headfirst slide into first is out. We'll head to the 8th inning. Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers 8-1. Fans, Coyotes night is coming up here Friday, September 8th. Get the special event ticket package that includes a lower level baseline reserve ticket and a D-backs Coyotes baseball for only $25. The special event ticket pack available online right now, dbacks.com/Coyotes. All kinds of shirts and caps to choose from. All the color schemes you want, all the logos. That's a big Christmas shopping stop for me every year.
Got that right.
Whole big box of stuff goes back to Boston. Got to keep everybody in all the latest looks. Chris Taylor leads off the 8th against C.J. McFarland. Taylor homered here Tuesday. 3 hits and 3 RBIs in the series. 0 for 2 with a walk today. There's a squib shot to Goldie, well off the bag. TJ hustles over there, but Taylor slides down low and beats him to the bag. Ryan Addison says safe at first.
Center field, Curtis Granderson.
Just reached out there with the right foot and came up about a foot short of the bag at first. Tried to reach down with the glove and tag the base, but Chris Taylor runs extremely well.
Leadoff man on for Curtis Granderson, who's 0 for 3. And scored an infield single for Chris Taylor. Curtis Granderson hoping to get to a World Series. He's in his 14th year in the big leagues, now 36 years old. He's had at least 4 seasons with 30 homers. Helped the Mets into the postseason each of the last 2 years. World Series a couple of years back. And a pair of 40 home run seasons with the Yankees. And he's played in more than 50 postseason games in his career, but he's still looking for that first ring. He has been one of baseball's great citizens and great ambassadors for the game. Curtis Granderson is as nice and smart and intelligent and articulate a guy as you'd ever want to meet. He's an absolute joy to talk to. And he has done so much to help out baseball all over the country, everywhere he's been. Detroit, New York. Works a lot with kids. He's done some TV work in the off season. He's just really a magnetic guy. Camera loves him.
A lot of respect for what he's accomplished over the course of his career, but I hope he doesn't get a World Series ring.
Amen. Taylor's in there safe. That was an absolute rocket down the first base line. America's first baseman and hopefully the National League MVP, Paul Goldschmidt. He got it, stepped on the bag. That takes the force off, and they have to get the tag in there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the throw was just a little bit too high. And once again, we've talked about Taylor's speed and length in this series. Just able to get in underneath the tag down there at second base, but what a great play on that smash off the bat of Granderson. That ball was hit real hard down to first. Goldie was playing right behind the runner, didn't have a lot of reaction time.
Pitcher spot is third in the Dodger order. Here's Kike Hernandez. He'll hit for Baez, 209, 11 homers. And Hernandez hitless in the series. He is scuffling big time right now, stuck in a 3 for 30 up there.
And one thing we know about Kike Hernandez, it's not going to stop him from swinging hard.
Well, he does have a career high 11 home runs. Usually hits lefties pretty well.
No leg kick that time from Hernandez. Normally he's a guy that has a big front side leg kick diving into that pitch.
Yeah, it's getting that front foot down pretty quick, kind of a jab step. Kike Hernandez really hasn't hit all summer long. He's batting less than 180 since June the 1st. So his bat has sort of vanished here over the summer. Cody Bellinger on deck. He walks Hernandez.
Well, it goes without saying that's something you really want to avoid with a 7-run lead late in a ball game. Make them hit their way on base.
Especially with Bellinger coming up. Yeah. One swing and it gets a little interesting.
Walk here and a hit there, and suddenly the Dodgers are putting up a crooked number.
That's the way this series has gone. They've come back late in ball games after the Diamondbacks had big leads. Taylor at second, Hernandez at first, 1 out. Bellinger 0 for 3. Cody Bellinger, of course, a Valley native, grew up in Chandler. His dad, Clay, now a firefighter in Gilbert. Clay Bellinger, a member of that 2001 Yankee team, and lost Game 7 here to the Diamondbacks in the World Series. And the funny thing about Cody Bellinger and Clay Bellinger is that Clay had 12 home runs for his career in the majors, and it took Cody only 43 games to pass Dad's career home run total. And he has flown by it, second in the National League right now with 34 home runs. Good hard fastball from TJ. It's 1-2. Bellinger hits lefties. He's about 270 against left-handers. 9 homers. And there's Mrs. Bellinger. Mr. and Mrs. Yeah, there's Clay on the right.
Yeah. Clay in that 0-1 World Series, playing off the bench for the Yankees that year. 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter with a couple of strikeouts.
It's good managing right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I remember Clay, I believe, was one of the coaches on that 07 Little League World Series team.
I think you're right.
For Shanley, there he is, the former Yankee and California Anaheim Angel. Clay Bellinger. One ball and 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. Struck him out. 2 down. Bellinger 0 for 4 today.
Catcher, Yasmani GRANDAL.
Nice little sinker there, enough downward movement to get it underneath the swing of Cody Bellinger. Big strikeout.
And now Yasmani GRANDAL, the switch hitter, will flip around and bat right-handed against the lefty McFarland. He's got 5 hits in this series, 2 for 3 today.
What year was that, Chandler? Little League? Was that 03?
I believe it was 07.
07. Okay.
Yep, 07.
Okay. Because in 2003, Mike Benjamin, the manager for the Diamondbacks Missoula Osprey team, was the manager of that team.
Mike Benjamin, some of the greatest sideburns in baseball history.
Daggers.
Back to the mound. TJ's got it. And he strands 2 Dodgers. We'll head to the home half of the 8th inning. D-backs all lined up for the sweep. race. The Minnesota Twins tied up with the White Sox. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom 9. And it's a walk-off hit by pitch that forces in the winning run. And Minnesota is now only 1/2 game behind the Yankees for the first American League wild card spot. And you think the National League is tight? Take a look at the American League. The Angels, who did they get Justin Upton today? Did that deal get done?
I didn't hear that was finalized.
There was a rumor out there that the Angels were about to acquire Justin Upton from the Tigers. Anaheim's only a game and a half out. Baltimore 2 back. Tampa Bay and Texas 4. Seattle KC 4.5. I mean, that's like a land rush right there, trying to get those 2 AL wild card spots.
A full month of baseball left to go.
I tell you what, those Twins, they're fun to watch. It wasn't much fun watching them against the Diamondbacks, but that's an exciting young team.
It really is. A lot of good young players.
Minnesota now 70-63. Here's Ross Stripling to work to Daniel Descalso to start the bottom of the game. You've got the Red Sox, Cleveland, and Houston, all division leaders in the American League, with the Yankees and the Twins right now holding the 2 wild card spots. Yankees are 5.5 off the division race in the AL East. Twins are 6.5 back at Cleveland. And Houston has the best American League record at 80-53. Diamondbacks, if they hang on, win this one, will be 76-58. That's not too far away from the Astros. A win today will move Torey Lovullo's ball club to 18 games over 500. Their high water mark this year was 22 over 500. And it was back on June 27th. Descalso strikes out.
Hey fans, postseason play is right around the corner. Don't miss your opportunity to secure tickets. Buy or renew D-backs season tickets and get all the benefits of being a season ticket holder, plus priority for the best postseason tickets. Get more information now at dbacks.com/advantage.
It's the fight for postseason. It is here. September arrives tomorrow. Good day for Ketel Marte. He singled twice, scored a run. Backs up Taylor at shortstop. 2 down. Jake Barrett warming up with the Sanderson Ford bullpen. TJ McFarland has worked his 7th in the 8th after Zach Greinke went 6. Saw Jake come on in the 7th inning last night to relieve Robbie Ray. Ray Fuentes will hit for the pitcher, so that will be it for McFarland. Ray 236, 2 homers. He struck out as a pinch hitter in Tuesday's game. Dodgers looking at a 5th consecutive loss. Squib shot for Barnes comes in to collect that one. And Stripling works a 1-2-3-8. We'll head to the 9th, 3 outs away from a sweep of the Dodgers. was outstanding. A lot of Diamondback offense early once again. And they take an 8-1 lead over the Dodgers into the 9th inning here. And are all set to take a 3.5 game wild card lead into Colorado later tonight. Right now it's at 3. A win here makes it 3.5. Milwaukee right now 3 games behind the Rockies. The Brewers are hosting Washington tonight. That's Gio Gonzalez and Zach Davies, as Davies will try and match Zach Greinke with his 16th win. Marlins and Cardinals 5.5 back. Miami hosts the Phillies. The Cardinals are at San Francisco. Jake Barrett on to work the 9th inning. It's the Ashline call to the bullpen. We saw Jake pitch in the ball game last night. YASIEL Puig will lead it off. Ray Fuentes stays in the game. He takes over in right field for J.D. Martinez. Ray will bat 9th, as he already has. Pitcher spot now 5th in the Diamondback order. Puig go for 3. D-backs a chance to get to 76 wins and 18 games over 500. Right center, AJ lays out. He's got it. Another spectacular catch by AJ Pollock as he takes extra bases away from YASIEL Puig.
Such a good play for A.J. Pollock. That ball is slicing away from him the entire time. Never breaks stride, never takes his eye off the ball. What a great diving catch by A.J.
Well, he has been one highlight reel catch after another lately. Former Gold Glove winner in center. One down for Gonzalez. Think about the Diamondbacks at 76 wins. 2 years ago, when they were a very exciting team, had a 15-win difference from 2014. They won 79 games 2 years ago. Last year 69. And they will head into September 1st already at 76 wins. What an improvement. Well, it's been a tough series for YASIEL and the Dodgers. They're about to get swept for the first time all year. Can't bear to look.
I mean, this will be an interesting test for the Dodgers. Not that they're not a great ball club and they've had a great season up to this point, but this is really the first adversity they've faced all season long. It's just been a ride in the park all year for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers, and now they're bumping up against it a little bit here as we head into the month of September.
Well, they lost 2 out of 3 at home to the Brewers before they got here. So that'll be back-to-back series losses for the first time since the 2nd week of April. Their 2nd and 3rd series of the season. That was already in the books before we started play today. And Barrett gets the strikeout of Gonzalez. 2 down. 1 out away from a 3-game sweep of the boys in blue.
That was an overpowering fastball, belt high, middle of the plate, right by Gonzalez.
The Brooms are out here in downtown Phoenix, ready to hand the Dodgers their first series sweep of the year. Logan Forsythe is last man standing.
He came prepared. Had the Dodger jersey on a broom. That's outstanding.
Good work. Forsythe 0 for 2 with a walk. And it's not just a sweep of the Dodgers, it's a sweep of the homestand. 6-0 against San Francisco and LA. Last time the Diamondbacks won 7 straight games, June 18th. 2-1. That's foul at third. A strike away. About to hand the Dodgers their 5th straight loss. Two and two to Logan Forsythe. Bounce to second. And the Diamondbacks sweep the Dodgers. The D-backs have won 7 straight games and 9 of their last 10. And they are the first team this season to sweep LA. How about that?
As a former Giant and a current Diamondback, there's not much better in life than sweeping the Dodgers. Outstanding series for the D-backs. Buckle up. Let's head to Coors Field.
They'll head there with a 3.5-game lead over the Rockies atop the National League wild card race. 18 games over 500. 8-1. The sweep is done.